Everyone talks about closure like it is some beautiful, neatly wrapped gift, but the truth is that reality is often far more jagged, boring, and inexplicably strange. We are conditioned to believe that life-altering moments happen with a slow-motion soundtrack or a cosmic warning, but in the real world, in the American office park on a random Tuesday, tragedy doesn't announce itself. It just interrupts a conversation about lunch. 4 days ago, the world didn't end, but the version of it I knew certainly stopped making sense. It was just another afternoon at the office. You know the drill. The 2 p.m. slump hits, the air conditioning is humming that slightly annoying B-flat, and your eyes are glazing over from staring at spreadsheets. My coworker, who wasn't just a guy I shared a break room with but a genuine friend, suggested we do our usual leg stretch lap. It's a 75-degree day in the suburbs, the kind of weather where the humidity hasn't quite peaked yet, and the sky is that aggressive shade of blue that makes you feel like everything is fine. We have this ritual, a half-circle walk around the building to the back where there are 2 sets 15 concrete steps. They are brutal on the knees but good for the heart, or so we thought. We were right in the middle of a sentence, probably something inconsequential about a weekend plan or a project deadline, when the logic of the universe just snapped. 1 second he was there, and the next, oh God, and the laws of physics took over. He didn't just stumble, he fell into a different reality. He tumbled down those 30 steps and landed in a heap, face first against the unforgiving concrete. I stood there, paralyzed for a heartbeat, which feels like an eternity in the Midwest sun, before the adrenaline finally kicked my brain into gear. He wasn't moving, he wasn't responding, and as I reached the bottom, I realized the man I had been laughing with seconds ago was now a scene from a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The human brain is remarkably ill-equipped for the sudden transition from ordinary to catastrophic. When you see something like that, your nervous system doesn't just get sad. It enters a state of high-alert strangeness that research suggests is a form of paratraumatic dissociation. I remember the smell of the hot pavement mixed with the metallic scent of blood. When I tried to roll him over, his limbs weren't limp. They were seized up, stiff, and locked in a way that didn't look human. That is the body's reaction to severe trauma, the brain's ditch effort to hold everything together. I called 911, my fainting so hard I almost dropped my phone, and then I did the only thing the operator told me to do, CPR. For 7 minutes, which felt like 7 years in the Florida-like humidity of that afternoon, I was pushing on the chest of my friend. I saw his face torn up and unrecognizable from the impact, and I felt the ribs move under my palms. Research suggests that when we perform these high-stress tasks on someone we care about, our brain tattoos the image into our hippocampus with permanent ink. The ambulance eventually arrived, the sirens cutting through the quiet of the office park, but I knew. I felt the life leave the space long before the paramedics took over. Now, 4 days later, I'm stuck in this weird zone. I haven't slept more than a few hours since Tuesday. My body is physically exhausted, yet I feel like I'm vibrating with the leftovers of that adrenaline. I keep seeing the heap at the bottom of the stairs. I keep feeling the tightness in my chest that some people notice after a shock, a physical manifestation of the mental loop your brain is running to try and find a different ending to the story. If you are feeling strange instead of just sad, some researchers find that this is actually a protective mechanism. You aren't broken for not crying 24/7. Your brain is simply trying to process a file that is too large for its current software. The isolation makes it worse. My friend was single, no kids, with his only family living states away. It's just me and a few other co-workers holding this memory. Some people find that grounding helps when the flashes of the stairs return, focusing on 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear. Others notice that simply verbalizing the strangeness, admitting that it doesn't feel real, helps move the memory from the reactive part of the brain to the logical part. Research suggests that the tightness in the chest is a common autonomic response to witnessing sudden death, and it may help to acknowledge that your body is currently a crime scene of its own, trying to clean up the chemical mess of the event. While there is no fix for seeing the unthinkable, some people find that small routines, the very things we were doing before he fell, can eventually provide a sense of safety again. though it takes time that we aren't always patient enough to give ourselves. I'm sharing this because the silence of a tragedy like this is the hardest part to carry. If you've ever stood at the edge of something life-changing and felt that inexplicable weirdnesses instead of what the movies told you to feel, you aren't alone. Drop a comment or just take a breath. Sometimes, just knowing that the world is indeed strange is the only way to start feeling normal.